I don't even know where you're sitting at.
One of the craziest laughs I've ever heard. Kawhi Leonard, thank you for that moment. That meme will live on forever and ever, but more importantly, your game will live on forever and ever because of performances like we got last night. Kawhi Leonard, LA Clippers, got his team into the postseason, not the play-in, partying like a rock star.
I think he was the reason that I picked them to go to the Final Four in 2011, SDSU, when he was there.
He's a machine.
And I don't really recall how they got blasted in that one or out of that one.
Kemba Walker.
Was it?
Yep.
Did he lose to Kemba?
UConn and those Huskies
That
got
makes
him.
sense.
And also didn't help that Kawhi was in foul trouble in that game.
Yeah.
And we can't name any of his
Sweet
teammates.
16?
Yeah. 2 versus 3.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, last one is a real quick one for me, and it's the rings, man. See those Buckeyes getting those rings? That box of 3?
I see.
3 of them.
Yeah, that works.
The one that cracked open, the Leave No Doubt with the Ryan Day inscription, all that, the confetti in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's have 2 just for
blanks and giggles.
Let's just give you a couple for the journey along the way.
Yeah. Whew. Yeah, they were nice.
All right. That's part of the Garage Star today.
Fellas, you know what else is nice is going over to the Columbus Men's Clinic and getting your life together, because I talk to a lot of guys and I hear the same thing over and over. You're tired. You're dragging. Things just aren't working out like they used to. And maybe you're one of those guys that's thinking, well, that's just me getting older. No, it doesn't have to be that way. That's why I want to tell you about the Columbus Men's Clinic, because these guys do the guesswork. Don't do guesswork. They make it happen. Real science, real treatments, no gimmicks, no online quick fixes that just leave you frustrated. Online pills are too expensive and generic to just not work. At the Columbus Men's Clinic, their medical providers build a plan around you, your body, your goals, and what it takes to get you back to feeling like yourself again. Testosterone, ED treatments, stuff most guys don't even know exist, and trust me, it works, fellas. Call 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com. Your consultation, including blood work, is just $99, and they will find a plan that works with your budget. Don't procrastinate on this. Call them right now. Again, at 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com.
All right, we're back after a Sports Center update here at the top of the hour, second hour. Did we finally get a big-time college football player to overplay his worth? We'll give you those details next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
We've been your Jackets flagship station since day one. All the goals, all the action, all the memories. Your home for the Columbus Blue Jackets, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
She's the heart of your home, the keeper of traditions, and the one who always puts everyone else first. And this spring, it's her turn. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. For over 78 years, we've offered unforgettable gifts for every milestone, big and small. Mother's Day, anniversaries, birthdays, and more. She deserves more than flowers. She deserves to sparkle. For jewelry that lasts a lifetime, visit Diamond Cellar on Sawmill Road and at Easton Town Center. Or shop with us online at diamondcellar.com.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
Here, heart care helps you heal faster. Advanced, minimally invasive procedures mean less time recovering and more living life. See how we care for all of you at MountCarmelForYou.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Spring is here, and it's time to refresh your yard with Ohio Mulch. With 15 convenient locations in Central Ohio, it's easier than ever to get your mulch ready for the season. Need it delivered? No problem. Save $50 on home delivery when you order online. Whether it's mulch, soil, or even stone, we've got your yard covered. Visit OhioMulch.com today and spruce up your garden with the best.
Ohio Mulch, landscape supply, greener, greener, better.
Columbus knows what it takes to be a champion. Just like your favorite team, Caster Connection plays to win. Our heavy-duty casters and wheels offer unmatched durability and ergonomic performance from manufacturing and material handling and beyond. With an unrivaled online inventory and the best consultative experts in the industry, we'll help you find the right caster for any job. Shop now at casterconnection.com and save 10% on online orders with promo code ROLL10. Not a retail location.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's going to audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Beds are us. When dreams don't get in, beds are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
Beds are us. When dreams don't get in, beds are us.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your really expensive limited edition sneakers and your new suit for your cousin's wedding. Except you never actually bought the suit because you can't stop buying sneakers. So you show up to the wedding looking like you're going grocery shopping. But hey, at least your sneakers will look good in the pictures, until you're cropped out of every last one of them. So go ahead and get Progressive, so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
The NFL Draft on ESPN, live from the legendary Lombardi Avenue in Green Bay.
To all of these men, I want to say that football is not just a game, but a way of life.
Whose lifelong dream of making it to the league?
Each man must make a personal commitment to excellence and to victory.
Will be fulfilled on this iconic stage at Lambeau. The 2025 NFL Draft begins Thursday, April 24th at 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, ABC, and NFL Network.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. The Phoenix Suns had the largest payroll in league history this year and failed to reach the postseason. Just a little bit ago, they have fired head coach Mike Budenholzer. Ohio State had their annual spring game on Saturday. Naturally, everyone has been talking about the quarterbacks, but Mylan Graham had quite the day. Here's Ryan Day on his young receiver.
His route running is excellent. His athleticism is excellent. His attention to detail is excellent. The biggest thing with Mylan has been just finishing the catches, which you saw him do some today. But I think he has a bright future here. I think he's grown. He's gotten better. He's serious about his work. He has all the tools it takes to be the next Vrabel.
The Buckeyes in D.C. today visiting the White House. This one sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Earn a $200 cash bonus with a home equity line of credit from BMI FCU. Visit bmifcu.org/home-equity.
Anthony used to ski in his jeans? Are you serious? No, he's not from New Jersey. Back to Rothman and Ice.
Yep. You haven't skied till you've been on the top of a mountain in Lake Tahoe in Denham. Then you know you've arrived. All right. This is a story that kind of broke on Friday. And then it really hit top of the mountain stuff on, was it Saturday morning? When Nico Iamaleava left Tennessee, the quarterback with a bright future. And it appears to me that it's just all about money, that he was going to leverage them for more, that he either got really bad advice or he actually does know where he's going and figured he could power play it. Obviously, he didn't want to be at Tennessee for whatever money they were going to pay him to play. And so I'm not going to begrudge a guy if that's the most important thing to him. What's hard to fathom is you're just kind of starting your career. You're probably getting paid a lot anyway. Mm-hmm. So doesn't this mean anything to you, being at Tennessee and being the quarterback? Apparently it doesn't. And so I know that I've talked a lot about the trend of guys. We didn't see it this year in the playoff. Part of what I talked about before the playoff, Maddie, was, okay, first year of expanded playoff. What happens if you get a guy who's a big-time player, doesn't want to risk it, but he sneaks in as a 12? You know, what if you're in that group? Mm-hmm. Does he risk it because he knows how many games it would take? Does he need to get paid more? Are these bonus games? Does he get bonus money for risking it? It's all in play now. And so and we'll hear from Josh Heupel, his coach, who hasn't talked to Nico since he left, but kind of gave him a little bit of a, we wish you best in your future endeavors kind of stuff you hear from the bosses when they fire you. Or when you quit or whatever. It all feels grimy to me that he's now the first. Other guys have probably played hardball. I guarantee there are a million stories, even probably at Ohio State. Not a million. I exaggerated. There are a handful of guys that have leveled up, that have had other schools come for them, and like you say, the price changes. And I guarantee that those weren't public.
Right.
You don't think Ohio State had to find money for Marvin Harrison?
Wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised.
Now, it would be weird if this was, you know what I would relate this to? This would be like Jeremiah Smith going back to Ohio State before the spring game and saying,
run it up. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
You're breaking in a new quarterback. I can go now. Like, who knows? He could. It would have been like that. I'm not saying he did that. I'm saying it would be like that. This guy plays quarterback for a team that made the playoff last year. Mm-hmm. A pretty big program. You know he was getting serious amounts of money anyway. So what in your mind do you believe happened?
So based off of the reading that I did this weekend, especially after the finality of the situation happened with him no longer being a part of the program, this sounds like this wasn't something that started cooking up here over the last couple of weeks. There's some reports out there that this has been brewing since the winter, and that you got a guy like Josh Pate, who is a big-time college football guy, big-time podcast. He reported on his show that Nico was one of the few players on a college football playoff team that threatened to hold out of playoff games in order to gain leverage and get more money. So behind the scenes, this was already brewing. It sounds like from some people that cover the team down in Tennessee that the dad and the agent were big-time driving forces in this. And that, of course, Nico had a say. To what level of say, I don't know. But it sounds like his dad, Nick, was a guy that was talking to Josh Heupel, talking to the AD down there and saying, you want my son to stick around here? We're going to have to really crank this money up to an even higher level. Don't know what they were asking for. So that's what I found interesting, is that this just didn't happen over the last 7 to 14 days. This goes back months ago to the playoff when they were rocking and rolling. And then you also hear that he and his camp reached out to Dan Lanning. Pete Thamel threw this out there this weekend, that they wanted to get in Dan Lanning's ear to see, hey, you had Bo Nix, you had Dylan Gabriel. Do you really like the guys that you have up there at Oregon? Dan Lanning didn't want to touch this. He actually reached out to Josh Heupel and told him what Nico and his camp were doing behind his back. So a lot of this is, like you said, grimy. It's messy. It's slimy. It's the game, though, that I think will get played for years to come with certain guys, as long as they're good enough and they are around a program that has the financial backing to throw big-time money around, which it seems like Tennessee did to a point, until they told him, nah, we're good, you can go elsewhere. Because what's fascinating to me is you've got two reports out there that Nico left on his own, and you've got Tennessee and Josh Heupel, and those decision-makers said, yeah, you know what, you're doing too much, we're okay if you leave the program. So welcome to college football in 2025. And this is the biggest headline that we've had in a while when it comes to this specific topic in the NIL era to where a guy, like you said, who led his team to the playoff is no longer going to be that team's quarterback because of money. And that's college sports, and I know a lot of people aren't going to like it. And I did see this, and this is one interesting note as well, AR, is that because of the rules that are in place, Nico can't go to another SEC school and play.
That was on Friday, yep.
And Tennessee cannot acquire a quarterback from a SEC program as well to play immediately.
That's right.
So those are some of the guidelines that are out there for both parties.
Yeah, which is a little bit of the tiny plastic guardrail that's on this. We can have 8 different discussions on this. Is he worth the money? Is anybody? You're worth what they're willing to pay. That's it. And then you can level the conversation to, will he live up to earning that money? I've said it a million times. We are now we're uncharted waters. I don't like it. Good for them for getting it. I can't imagine what it'd be like to be a coach and have to apologize to the players I'm coaching and walk around eggshells around them and, are they going to transfer or ask for more money? I can't piss anybody off. How do you coach like that? I don't know. It's why the coaches make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. But on the flip side, the coaches are allowed to leave too. They can get bought out from schools and get out of their contracts and recruit players and then be gone a year later. That happens too. Yeah. So it's a free-for-all now. And you try to hold it together the best you can. And that's the business. That's why probably what drove out Saban. It was probably not driving Urban back.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that. And maybe when you're in it, you deal with a lot more than you would if you're out of it looking to get back into it. It's weird because Belichick's now back into it at a level he never was at. Yeah. How could that?
Wild
like of all the guys,
I know
that would say, "Yeah, that's for me."
Mm-hmm. Didn't seem like
they're going to play for me.
Yeah, doesn't seem like his cup of tea. But here he is.
No, how do you coach? How do you coach with the my way or the highway? Because that's the way coaches get a lot out of their players. And then the other part is, how do you do that to your teammates? Now, maybe the teammates don't care because everyone's out getting their own now. But what about the Tennessee teammates of Nico's? Really?
Yeah.
You just played us for $2 million. You want another $2 million?
Mm-hmm.
You don't care about winning. You don't care about going to battle with us.
It's a tough sell.
Now you're bailing.
Yeah, because the regrouping that they have to do as a football team who had odds right in that 16-1, 18-1 to win it all. Vegas was telling us they were going to be really good. And obviously Nico was a big part of that because he was a quarterback that was continuing to grow. A couple years ago, had that big bowl game against Iowa. On down the line last season, there was some peaks and valleys going on, but you see the vision. And Josh Heupel
kept Ohio State. He kept them in the game.
No doubt he did.
If they were in it at all.
And you're Josh Heupel, and you're turning the page over to 2025 and knowing, man, I may have one of the best quarterbacks in the country that might mess around and win a Heisman Trophy. And now I lost this kid because he and his camp are digging in on millions of dollars. And that's tough. That is no doubt tough because, like you said, his teammates, the coaching staff, the fan base down there just took a massive gut punch because the biggest piece to your team is no longer there, and who knows where you go. I don't know what they have in-house behind him. Maybe it's a big-time recruit that's ready to rock and roll. They're going to have to get into the portal, I'm assuming, when that thing opens up this week and try to find whatever they can find there. But you talk about what this could potentially do to a contender. This is worst-case scenario for a team.
This had to have gotten to such a crazy level. Almost you got to be kidding me level
from Tennessee side.
Yeah, and I think we're already there anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But clearly, it's not their money. They're getting it from big donors and collectives.
Yeah,
it's not coming out of the coach's pockets. But it is weird to me because if you're a Tennessee fan, you're probably blaming Nico because you're asking how much is enough, dude? Don't you care about winning?
I would
and
love
all that?
to be able to gauge the fan base there because I think there's probably majority that would be where you are, but because of the hope that they had with him this season, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some people that are like,
find the money.
Just pay the kid.
Find the money.
This could be a special season for us.
I think it's because of the rumors of what the money was.
That it got crazy.
That he either was getting paid $2 and wanted $4.
Yeah.
And, all of a sudden you're like, we got to get our arms around this.
Mm-hmm.
This is...
What did Heupel have to say? I did not hear.
You'll hear it next.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
You'll hear it next. We are in an era where a player can ghost his own head coach. And it was kind of going on.
Mm-hmm.
And whether he's a young guy that got bad advice or leaned into that advice or already has a home to go to or it's a wash, I'll either get more out of them or I won't, or I'll leave and I'll get what I'm worth. But he has set himself up now amongst, and I know talent wins. So I'm not going to say that pro teams would be scared away from him because talent's going to win. Yeah. And then the money's the money. But this does bring in certain character type, teammate, work ethic. Now, he could throw his tape on and say, listen, I cracked my head against Ohio State 3 times in a 26-degree game to try to win. So I'm still that guy. But, boy, this kind of puts a weird vibe on his name. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Spring forward, Columbus, with the Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling Services. We're here to thaw you out with this limited time offer. Get up to $2,000 off a new complete furnace and AC system. This offer is too good to pass up. The Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling now together to serve you better with $2,000 off a new complete furnace and AC system. This offer won't last. Call us today, 614-232-2222. That's 614-232-2222.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and, of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
Huntington is banking that just clicks. Like asterisk-free checking with no monthly maintenance fee, no matter what. It's your money, right? So keep more of it. Make the switch today at huntington.com/yourmoney.
Hey, living with chronic pain. It's like trying to get comfortable on a cactus sofa, walking on pins and needles. Nothing feels good. And forget trying to do the things you love and enjoy. Like the spring, it's getting warm, whether you want to golf, whether you want to hike, whether you want to bike, whether you want to play pickleball. You're just trying to get by. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter here. I want you to know something. The medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Columbus are on the case and focused to finally get you the relief you need. Finally, calm that debilitating joint pain in your knee just like I did. Maybe it's your hip, your shoulder, your back. Don't miss a beat, no surgery or long recovery. I'm done with getting cut on. With QC Kinetics, the science is solid. They give you your life back. A life healthier, free of harmful meds. That's the whole mission of QC Kinetics. You could be a candidate. So go to qckinetics.com/Columbus to find out how easy it is. They've got offices now in Canal and Grove City, so call 380-208-4544.
After an audit of our programming, the suits here at The Fan decided we needed more baseball. And that common man is stupid. Good news, we fixed one of those problems. Catch the Reds on The Fan all season long. Yay, baseball!
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 26th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
Hi, I'm Josie. My daughter turns 5 today. Blow out the candles. I'm also an Ohio State Highway Patrol trooper. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can get home to celebrate with my daughter.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Brought to you by ODOT, USDOT, NHTSA, and ODPS.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy skies with some peaks of sunshine. Daytime highs soaring into the 70s. We have a chance of showers and thunderstorms late afternoon, early evening, some which could be strong to severe. For tonight, lows down into the 40s with a chance of showers. Otherwise, partly cloudy overnight. Tuesday, we'll see highs only in the 50s with a chance of showers and breezy winds. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Matty is a diehard Reds fan. I mean, where else is he going to go? You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Listen, family drama and college athletes is not a new thing. It's just playing out differently at different levels of money. If anything, this is following the playbook of the money, that it just only gets bigger as things become more popular, different areas to advertise, different levels of interest. But there's no denying this has been a wild few days for Tennessee, coming off their situation, making the playoff, getting humbled at Ohio State, but feeling they have a future there with their coach and quarterback. And so nobody really knows how we got here because we got here so fast and it was so abrupt. Even Ohio State delayed their takeoff a little bit on NIL. And as we've discussed on this program, Maddie, I said it right as it happened. Ohio State is not they're not used to losing to a checkbook. They can't. But they also felt like at the time that we're selling something different. Tradition, platform, coaching, training, guidance, big games, rivalry game. That's what we're selling. They've been selling it for over a century.
Yeah.
So it's harder to adjust your thought process. Wait a minute. Ohio State's got to buy players? What? They're getting the best prospects in the country when they pick up the phone.
Yeah, and I've heard from, certain coaches around the sport to where they're really trying to do a good job of when it comes to recruiting guys out of high school, like truly getting a feel of who the guy is and how he's wired. Because if you're recruiting a guy and the top thing for them is the money, I think you stay away from those guys. And I've heard coaches say that. Like, we're good. We talked to he and his family, and that's at the top of their mind, at the forefront of their minds. We're not messing around with that because then you can stumble into situations like this to where a key component to your team is coming back to the table to renegotiate a deal that they had already made, and the asking price is through the roof. And so I think that's got to be a responsible part of this process as well, as checking all the boxes that you talked about and selling your program for what it truly is. And it is the development. It is the history. It is the competition. The money's going to be there for certain guys. It will be. And there's going to be a lot of programs that have no problem paying up. But if that's what you're really about as a player, then we don't want you around anyway. And so that's, I think, where you got to do your homework as a coaching staff to find out how these guys are truly wired and how they want to go about their business to avoid this. Because this now will shake the room around college football. I also believe this as well. There's only a couple guys, maybe a handful of guys on each roster that have this type of leverage to go down this road, right? Like the quarterback of the team, maybe a star player on offense or defense that is a big-time NFL draft prospect. But I don't think this is going to become the norm because I don't think a lot of guys have this type of leverage the way Nico thought he did at Tennessee because of the position that he played and what they had just done the year prior getting into the postseason. So I'm actually hopeful, AR, that this is more of a one-off than the norm coming our way in years to come.
So, Manny, I think it's also timing on where the program is and how desperate they are. Mm-hmm. And I think maybe Tennessee or Nico's group, agent, family, whatever, or himself, overplayed their hand. Yeah. I'm not saying from a strategy standpoint it may have been the wrong thing to do. It turns out the results are bad. But what he was looking at is, we just tasted a playoff. I'm a big reason for that.
Mm-hmm.
This program hasn't tasted this in 20 years, a season this good. So Tennessee cares about football, so he checks that box. He knows they care. He knows the passion's there. He also knows they just got a taste of something they haven't tasted in 2 decades, right? The kids at the school right now in Tennessee weren't born probably at the time when they were living this type of a season. So it's all new. It's a little bit of Haley's Comet stuff. But it's a proud program, and it's not necessarily, yes, women's basketball and basketball. It's big there too. But I think he leaned into, I can get him now. We just got a taste of it. I helped deliver it. I'm a young guy, and let's level up now. If not now, then when? The other thing he may have miscalculated is his head coach is a guy who almost won the Heisman. Like, this is a guy who had more votes for the Heisman than Drew Brees. Like, he's been around. He's more old school.
It's an Oklahoma guy, right?
Oklahoma alma mater, almost won the Heisman. You could have made the case he should have won it over Chris Wenke. But and maybe he was like having a hard time finding a way to coach a quarterback that way because he was one. Yeah. I don't know. Here he is on the, I don't know, I wouldn't call it a kiss-off because he probably took the high road for Nico.
I want to thank him for everything that he's done since he's gotten here as a recruit to who he was as a player, how he competed inside of the building. And so a great appreciation for that side of it. Obviously, we're moving forward as a program without him. You know, I said it to the guys today, there's no one that's bigger than the power team. That includes me. And they hear me say that a lot inside of that team room. This program's been around for a long time, with a lot of great coaches, a lot of great players that came before that laid the cornerstone pieces and the legacy, the tradition that is Tennessee football. It's going to be around a long time after I'm done and after they're gone. Today you got a chance to see 110 guys that ran out and competed their butts off, that give their all for Tennessee and do it the right way. And really proud of the spring that they've had. Our coaches and staff, guys that have been here over the last 4 years, have rebuilt this program, and it's built to win. And I say that as we're moving forward from today, too. This program's ready to go win next fall. And as a program, since we've been here, we've won with a lot of different QBs, done it historically in my career with a lot of different QBs. We'll have a quarterback that's ready to go win and help us compete for a championship.
You're going to laugh when I say this, but it was refreshing to hear a coach go old school, Norman Dale, this is your team. These guys are the one, this commitment and effort that we just saw deserves and demands your respect. This is your team. Support who we are, not who we are not. And it had that feel to me that they finally said, we're not changing the standard. Do you know how easy it is for professional teams, even, not even college team, to change the standard for talent? Oh, yeah. They do it all the time.
No doubt.
They slip and slip and slip, and as soon as you slide, it's like sliding on a diet. Every day.
I'll start next Monday.
Or I'll slide a little bit today. I won't work. I'll slide. And guess what? Then you've ended it. They just took a stand, whatever the stand is, and I'm not saying they weren't willing to pay him $2 million, so it's not like they were like completely righteous and saying we don't pay for our guys. But he just said that these are the guys that are choosing to sacrifice for this program. Mm-hmm. And you could hear it in his voice, to represent you, this university. That was full Norman Dale for me.
Respect, no doubt, goes to Josh Heupel, not only for what he did and how he represented the program as a head coach and pretty much said that stuff's not going to fly here, but also at the end, just reminding folks, we'll be good. We'll be all right.
Program been around a long time.
We'll be all right. With me at the helm here, with me understanding the quarterback position, we're going to have a guy that's ready to cook and ready to go. So respect to him for taking that stance. And also respect to Dan Lanning in Oregon, because this had to be tempting. How could it not be tempting? Nico is one of the up-and-coming guys in the sport. And you have over there in Eugene right now a little bit of the unknown. right? Dante Moore, you brought him as a transfer a couple years ago. You don't really know what you're getting. This was a proven product in Nico that Dan Lanning has gone out and said, we like those type of guys. Just follow his actions. With Bo Nix and Dylan Gabriel and what Bo Nix turned into, as did Gabriel, he could have easily had himself a right-now talent. But I think in their minds, they're probably looking, well, if he did that to Tennessee, he's only calling us for one or two reasons. One of them, obviously, is because we got a good football program out here. And two, there's word out there that Phil Knight, owner of Nike, is not shy about throwing money around. So Nico and his camp probably identified Oregon and said, that's probably where we can get the best of both worlds. And Dan Lanning said, you're not welcome here. So a lot of respect for me coming from Oregon side of this thing as well, for a program that probably think that they should be playing for national championships, and Nico could have helped them probably do that.
He's not the only guy that's ever quit on a team or decided, hey, I got to do what's best for me. And I'm not telling you that that's the worst way to think, that I just have to be my own best advocate. This just reeks a little bit to me of a guy who overplayed his hand with his family's help or contribution, agents, and that there was no going back, that they called his bluff, and
he didn't think they would.
And even different from that, Matty, is he felt he couldn't tuck his tail and go back and say, okay, we're good. Yeah. Like he was playing it all the way.
This is one of the biggest stories in the NIL world that has a real negative feel to it.
Yeah.
The first one for me.
We'll talk to our friend Pete Futek next from College Football News, excuse me, and we'll ask him about the trend or whether this is just a very unique one-off. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Evan Cohen here. Picking a place to build a life is a lot like selecting a draft pick. Make a decision that will set you up for long-term success. Pick Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, you'll find dynamic career opportunities, beautiful seasons, affordable living, and legendary weekends. From its high quality of life and great schools to its fine arts, culinary, and pro sports scenes, Wisconsin gives you so much to look forward to. That's why you should pick Wisconsin. Learn more about making Wisconsin your home. Visit pickwisconsin.com.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, I remember you saying that a family business should reflect family values, that a customer deserves to be treated with kindness and compassion.
And those values will never change. The reputation you built for being fair and honest is our greatest asset.
In fact, in 2024, Care was awarded a BBB Torch Award for Ethics and named the Lennox Partner of the Year.
You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind. It's an honor to continue serving Central Ohio as a locally owned, family-run business.
So, whether you need a tune-up, repair, or just honest advice, Care is here for you.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Anthony finally hit a hole-in-one.
It's in the hole.
So now what? Just bask in the glory?
And that's how she wrote.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, now that spring football's in the books, certainly this story will kind of linger a little bit through the month. Obviously, then the NFL draft takes over and away you go. But until Nico finds a home, the story will live. I don't know if this is a turning point or whether this is just a very unique one-off or whether we will see this happen in the future play out this way. The man we will ask that question to is our friend Pete Futek, collegefootballnews.com. He's the publisher, and he's with us now on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Pete, welcome back. How you been?
You did exactly what I'm about to do and wuss out on the last name. I'm really good. Roethlisberger, Krzyzewski, Iamaleava. I somehow have been always really good. For whatever reason, Iamaleava,
I have to see it. Right. See, I have to see it. Yeah, Iamaleava, I have to actually see it. It's one of
Thank
those.
you.
I agree with you. I've been pretty good at it over the years, but it's the one that just doesn't stay where it needs to stay for me.
I can't nail it. I can't stick the landing on that one.
Right.
So we'll just, for purposes that I will get this, let's just call it, like you're right, it's the Nico situation for
That's
right
right.
now. But here, it's, what everyone's got to get their heads around is that this is a business. There's nothing noble about college football. We all have this, ideal, the kid runs out of psych class and goes to the big game and wins and then goes out for, to the big dance with Mary Sue pom-poms. This is business. These guys are entertainers. And the faster everyone gets their heads around that, Nico's kind of right. He went about it the wrong way, and this isn't a good look. But this is kind of what the players have some leverage here. But at the same time, look what's going to happen. Tennessee's going to get someone else from the transfer portal. So for everyone out there shaking their fist saying, "Oh, Nico and his representatives and all they're doing, wow, this is awful. This is everything that's wrong with college football." Well, what's going to happen on Wednesday? Well, transfer portal's going to open up, and some quarterback like a Notre Dame backup or someone who isn't going to get the job. He's going to give about $1.5 million, $2 million to go play for Tennessee. And then everyone's going to love him and say, "Hey, look at this guy." And all he's doing is he's going for a better deal. That's all Nico's trying to do here. So the other part of this is it depends on where he lands. If Nico gets that $4 million from Bill Belichick, all right, good move. You did. But this obviously is proving there's got to be some sort of regulation to all this.
Yeah, no doubt, Pete. You have some reports about this story that, led us to believe that Nico and his camp actually started this process or pushing back on this whole thing right around the winter time when the winter portal opened up, and that one of the programs that he and his camp reached out to was Oregon, and Dan Lanning said, "No, we're good," which I find pretty fascinating, and I think it's respectable from Lanning to say, "We believe in the guys that we have. You're not just going to use us for money," because I brought up, hey, Lanning could have easily bent the knee here a little bit with the quarterbacks that he's had and gone down that same road and bringing in a veteran quarterback with more right now talent, but he believes in those guys out there, and Nico may end up in Chapel Hill or elsewhere. You got any other places that you think would be a good fit for him, Pete?
First of all, wrong way to look at it. That's them dumping him before he dumps them. So, if Nico's better quarterback, they're going to get – the University of Oregon will open up that money and say, we're going to get him. That means they kind of like Dante Moore. They kind of like what the guy who they have in place. And Nico's probably going to price himself out of the market if his ask is $4 million. But absolutely, and no joke, I know you guys like saying, and I know he looked good yesterday, I would not be the slightest bit shocked if Nico's an Ohio State Buckeye. It's not going to happen, but we know how this program rolls. Look, they wanted Caleb Downs is probably the best player in college football last year, and they got him. They got him from Alabama. They didn't just get him from some MAC school or something. They took Caleb freaking Downs away from Alabama. If Ohio State wants a guy and they say, yeah, that guy's going to help us win a national title, they're going to go get him. If Oregon thought Nico was going to win him a national title, they'd go and get him. I think there's still some concern about just how good he is, and obviously the way this all shook out. Do you really want to deal with this? There's that part of it too, but that is basically I'm dumping you before you dump us.
Okay, so I understand where you're going with that, and you're right. Everyone's buying players. Let's not make this out that Tennessee got very noble all of a sudden here, and they're still going to find a guy to pay to play. But here's where I'll disagree with you, and maybe this is just timing. If Ohio State would have lost to Tennessee, if this thing went south, or they didn't even win the title, then I could say that Ohio State might still be in the mode of whatever it takes. But there was something that came out of this season. And believe me, they're still meeting a lot of players' demands. I'm not naive. But I don't think the preaching of what's happened after this, the brotherhood, the right fit, and the adversity they went through, they're throwing a lot of old school stuff out there. I think getting into a deal with this kid right now would be I think that would be out of character for this program at this point in time. If they lost last year, all bets are off. Maybe they keep swinging as hard as they can at any talent they can get. I just feel like last year kind of settled the waters a little bit in Ohio State for sure. that they can continue to lean into the right guy and not just any talent. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but, you got Chip Kelly as your offensive coordinator. I mean, it all sounds cute, but, no, you go get Ohio State had the best. I told you guys last year at this time Ohio State was winning the national championship. They had the best team. They had more talent than anybody else. So and yes, they had part of it was the fit. Part of it was all the guys coming back on defense, and you did have the culture there and the guys who, were ultra motivated, and you kind of tell. But here's the difference. Look at the top teams right now coming back in college football. Ohio State, Saban's probably the quarterback. You're still going with a new quarterback here. Georgia, are they really going to go with Gunnar Stockton? Probably. Nico can't go there because they can't go to SEC school. Notre Dame, I guess C.J. Carr, but they've gone with transfers over the last 2 years and did all right. Michigan, you're telling me that they're going to wait for and hope that Underwood's ready right out of the gate? Or Mikey Keene from Fresno State? Alabama, again, he can't go there, but that's enough. So basically, you're looking around if you're Ohio State, you're looking around and you're saying everyone, including Oregon, has got a new quarterback coming in. You get Nico, who, high upside, it's not crazy to think that he might be low-rent Jaden Daniels. He's that talented. He could take – remember, Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow, those guys were just guys. Nico's got all the NFL skills, and I think the people know it, but you asked the question before, I'll get to it now. I think he's going to be in North Carolina. I think they desperately need a quarterback. Bill Belichick's not taking on this job to develop 18-year-old freshmen for 4 years from now. I think he wants to win now, and Nico is by far the best available quarterback for him.
Okay, something to watch. You touched on Alabama. It looks like their offensive coordinator and Ryan Grubb came out and said if we're playing a football game tomorrow, Ty Simpson would be their starter. What are your thoughts on Caleb DeBoer going into year 2, bringing in Grubb, who is with in Washington? They had that high-flying offense. Have they done enough this all season to make that Alabama brand stronger than what it was a year ago?
They still have talent. They still have the guys. But the thing about Bama is everyone's got to get used to the fact that the defense is not going to be quite as good as it ever was under Saban. That's just not how they roll. But that offense, if they're going to do this, they've got to be the offense that rolled at Washington, that rolled at Fresno State under DeBoer. Just crank it all up. And that's what was kind of missing last year was that consistency down the field. That offense just crashed way too often, including the bowl game against Michigan when they had a lot of guys in place. If you're Alabama, you just want to see that, okay, we're seeing where this is going to go. No one's reasonably expecting Nick Saban. That's never going to happen again at Bama or anywhere else maybe. But you just got to see that, okay, we're going to get in the college football playoff this year and do some damage. That would be the next step up.
All right, my man. You always give us some stuff to talk about, so it's a lot of fun, and we'll keep watching the drama unfold, and we'll reach back soon. Thanks, bud.
Anytime, guys.
That is Pete Futek, publisher of collegefootballnews.com. All right, guys, over 40, talking to you, not feeling like yourself lately. No energy. The motivation is gone. Low T centers, testosterone therapy may be the solution you've been looking for. And this month, the consultation is free. Treatment is covered by most insurance. You can find a clinic near you or get treated from home. Get back to feeling your best. Do it now. Book the appointment at lowtcenter.com. So if you've been struggling, and like I say, you're just not feeling like yourself, get started today and book the appointment, take the blood test, get the results back, find out where you land on the scale, and let them guide you through the process. They will tailor make it for you. It's going to be designed around you. They'll optimize it as an individual plan. LowTCenter.com is the place. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care. All right, we come back and we stay with quarterbacks. Ryan Day evaluating their play from Saturday. That's next in the Bulletin. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
The great thing about Atlas Butler is they do it all. Heating, cooling, plumbing. Look, I'm busy with work. I don't have time to wait around or deal with lots of people. One company, one call, and they do it all. Wonder if they'll clean out my inbox. Seriously, offer that service. Please.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, three-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, two-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining Life Search to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to lifesearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. Life Search featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit lifesearch.com today.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's going to audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Join Rothman and Ice every Thursday at 2:30 for Gold Jacket Thursday.
Presented by the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
A new Hall of Famer joins the show every week, but not OJ because he's dead and probably a murderer. The Fan.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
John always listens to his truck. So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone, where a helpful AutoZoner gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool. Restrictions apply.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another air conditioner breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day air installation.
All right, little Buckeye Bulletin time. All right, like statistical breakdowns in a spring game are very unscientific because there weren't a lot of blitzing. They don't want quarterbacks to get cracked. They want to showcase them. A lot of underneath throws, some crossers, get a guy in rhythm a little bit. So if you want to hear them, I'll tell them to you. Lincoln Keenholz, 13 of 18, $164, 2 touchdowns. Julian Sayens, 16 of 25, 178, 1 touchdown. Tavian St. Clair, 11 of 18, 123, 1 touchdown, but 2 picks. So there you go. You want to play with those numbers and try to concoct something, be my guest. I just think watching it, it was one of those dynamics that I think you can see who the guy who will really tantalize the coaches, and that's Julian Sain. It's not like he did everything perfect. And he's not as tall as Lincoln, not as big as Lincoln. And so he's more of a pocket guy that can move a little bit, but he has to move because he's a little shorter. So when I saw him step up and 23 yards on a rope hit Carnell Tate, I'm like, okay, that's the guy. And then when I saw him miss a wide open lob to Mylan Graham right at the goal line, overthrows him on a sure touchdown, I'm like, okay, there's the inexperience we're talking about. Lincoln, Matty, similar to me. A little high on his throws early, kind of found some rhythm. But when he's at a 3rd and 6 and the coverage is good, he can take off and be a little physical. And that's kind of intriguing. And so I'm with Coach Day on the neck and neck part, even though I know he's leaning into probably who's going to maybe make the least mistakes. But he also wants to develop a guy and give this team to that guy and let that guy kind of swim a little bit in the deep water and maybe make some mistakes on the job training. You have to have a little bit of that. Neither one of these guys, I think, will be ready-made out of the gate.
The quarterback, regardless of who the guy is that we'll see week 1 against Texas, won't be the same guy when we get to Michigan. The development will just be so much better. They'll have things that'll slow down for them, the understanding of the offense, the understanding of how your teammates go about their business, whether it's the wide receivers and their routes or the offensive linemen and how well they block and how long you have to hold up. Those got to be live reps. There's only so much of that you can do in practice. So the inexperience part of it, that's going to happen early on in the season. You just hope that, especially in that first game, that you can find a way to overcome some things. And maybe the defense can bring it home for you and cause Arch Manning in Texas to come in here and have to deal with some speed bumps. So you laid it out well when it came to what those quarterbacks looked like on Saturday. I'll tell you, there were some other encouraging things going on, too, in that game. And one guy that I was really excited about this all season as far as what he could be as an additional weapon is Max Clare. And I know on that touchdown it looked like Caleb, and I forget who the other safety was at the time. There's some miscommunication.
No linebacker went with him.
So it was just a wide open lane. But that's the potential that Max Clare, I think, is going to bring to the field. And not only Max Clare, I think there's a lot of talent in that tight end room. I know Will Kazmarek is dealing with an injury right now. Jelani Thurman himself was a 4-5-star guy. So you just look at that position over the last few years from, Jeremy Ruckert to Cade Stover to G. Scott last year. Like, that position has really blossomed. And I happen to think that without those guys, right, getting into that 20-catch, 30-catch range, maybe Ohio State's not that attractive to some of these tight end guys. But Max Clare, you look at what he did at Purdue a year ago, and I think where he caught that touchdown on Saturday is where he's going to have a chance to make a lot of noise this offseason, in season, is the middle of the field. Because we know the attention that better be paid to the guys on the outside with Carnell and JJ. And so some of those one-on-one situations in the middle will be there for Max Clare in that tight end room. And I thought those guys had a decent showing. And that can ease a young quarterback with inexperience, I think, into some of these games or some of those vanilla fundamental throws and help calm their nerves along the way. So, yeah, very intrigued by Max Clare and what he can be this year for the old Scarlet and Gray. I
was a little bit surprised that it felt like Bo Jackson and Donaldson kind of won the running back.
Thought they look good
on this spring. That James Peoples, who everybody thought was going to be pseudo, it's your job to lose, he was not as featured as much.
The room's in good hands, right? The room's in good hand, and it's just, look, once again, one glance behind the curtain for all of us. But I do think C.J. Donaldson looked sharp. He looked crisp. I think he's going to be that back that can bring some of that physical smoke to the defense. He came in to Columbus, really got his body right. But all four of them, really, I thought, had some flashes in that game, and that's just such an important position to have depth in. Quinshon Trevion did a great job of holding it down all year, a season ago. But Donaldson as a transfer, Bo Jackson coming in as a young guy, and obviously James Peoples with Sam Williams-Dixon. Those four guys under Coach Locke's tutelage, they're going to be all right. I like what I saw from the running backs as well.
All right, baby Chet, let's hear from Ryan Day evaluating the QBs.
I felt like, Lincoln settled down after the first drive or so, made some nice throws, but I thought Julian, for the most part, early on, was in rhythm and moved the team down the field for a couple touchdowns, which was good. Made some nice throws. There's certainly a lot to grow from, and this is why we did this. You can see it was it was a fairly significant emphasis on throwing the ball to see how the quarterbacks were going to respond. And so, we'll use this as another evaluation tool because, right from the jump, from when we got off the bus to when we just finished there, I'm glad we did this. I'm glad we did the spring game. I wasn't sure, but it was definitely the right thing to do. I wish we could have stayed out there for another 4 hours and gotten these reps and getting these guys some work. On defense, the guys were very, very vanilla. You can see it was really 2 coverages all day and 1 front, which is not what we saw all spring. But I felt like for the most part we got a chance to have some film to evaluate, see how the quarterbacks handle themselves in front of the crowd, and kind of go from there and build from it. So what we'll do next week is we have our post-spring evaluations for all guys and go through and figure out what they did well and what they need to improve on as we head into the summer.
Yeah, it's a lot of summary on something he's not putting every last bit of weight into because you heard him set up the defense and all that. And we're not blitzing. They're not coming at weird angles at these quarterbacks. Kind of showcase, get them to feel good. It was more about the atmosphere. Let's see if they can do, as he likes to say, make the routine play routinely. Mm-hmm. And it was set up for that. And so I liked it in that regard. And I'm still in the camp of that Sayan's probably the one that would have to lose the job, or Lincoln would have to go get it from him. But it is as close as he probably advertised it. It's just who he trusts at the end of the day.
Also baked into that quote that we just heard from Coach Day is the defense and where probably they are too with their development, right? Where a lot of new faces are going to have to step up and play big-time minutes for this program in the fall, and attached to that with all these new faces playing a whole bunch of new snaps is a new defensive coordinator. So there's a lot of newness going on, and that's what happens where you have that veteran team that won it all. Those guys are gone, and so you still have some pillars, I believe, along the way in each room: D-line, linebacker, and back there on the back end led by Caleb Downs and IGB. But some of the new look players that we haven't seen a lot from, they're going to have to grow, and that defense may not be as exotic early on in the season as it will be down the line with Patricia getting to know those guys and those guys getting to know his system.
All right, we come back top of the hour after SportsCenter update and get back into third hour. It'll include Dave Biddle. We'll talk more spring game with him at 2:30. But up next, Rory's revenge and the best shot on Sunday. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Common Man and T-Bone are idiots. You should listen to them anyway.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan, Ohio's idiot destination.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, I think I saw a fox on my way in.
Oh, that was the Carfax Carfox. He was congratulating us on our Carfax Top-Rated Service Center Award.
I have always rated Tire Discounters at the very top.
Oh, thanks. So does Carfax. And not just for tires, but for all our services, too.
Alignment, brakes, shocks, and struts, and more.
Yes, sir.
But, Mike, do you think people believe Carfax over me?
Well, you are the Phantom tire buyer.
Exactly.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
This wasn't how Patrick pictured himself in retirement. Instead of playing golf every day, he could barely walk because of his severe knee pain.
It hampered everything because it hurt to walk around the golf course. It hurt to swing, just pretty much hurt doing anything.
But the groundbreaking regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics changed everything for Patrick. QC Kinetics uses your body's own healing properties to help repair and restore damaged tissue in your knees, hips, back, and shoulders. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime.
The turnaround's been amazing from where I was to where I am now. I've gone from a 15 handicap down to a 7 handicap. That's because my knees allow me to play golf like I haven't been able to play probably in 15 years.
Don't let joint pain keep you from doing what you love. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Hey, it's Anthony. Of course, I sit and do the show 3 hours a day. But after that, I'm looking to get things done and enjoy the spring weather. So I want to be on my feet a lot, playing golf, working out, just moving around. I was introduced to the Good Feet store because my feet were aching way too often. And what I found there is a 3-step custom arch support system that has me feeling awesome. My personally fit arch supports have helped realign my feet, reposition my body into a more ideal position, and not only that, strengthen my feet to help support me. It's made all the difference in how I feel every day. The Good Feet store is going to help you where you need relief and find the arch supports that work best for you. And when you wear them as a system, their arch supports are more effective at long-term pain reduction and elimination. So go in, take the free test walk. Good Feet arch supports are immediately available. Their products are proudly made in the USA. They're on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City, or at goodfeet.com.
I'm an old school Joe. I never lay juice I don't want to lay. I don't hate my money like that. I'd rather lay minus 108 than minus 110, wouldn't you? Prime Sports is Ohio's full-time reduced juice sports book. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You can stream the game on your phone while you're gardening. You can stream it while you walk the dog. You can stream it at a trampoline park. You can even stream it at a monster truck rally. But the second you get behind the wheel, the game's over. Remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. Blue Jackets goaltender Jet Greaves was recalled on Thursday before their game with Buffalo. He's been spectacular since then, going 3-0 with a 1.0 goals against and a .968 save percentage. He's helped the Blue Jackets stay alive in the playoff race. Today, he was named the NHL's first star of the week for his performance. Columbus back on the ice tomorrow night in Philadelphia against the Flyers. A day after their season came to an end, the Phoenix Suns have fired head coach Mike Budenholzer after just one season. The Suns had the largest payroll in league history and failed to reach the postseason. The New Orleans Pelicans have fired executive vice president David Griffin, and the Ohio State men's tennis team won their 19th consecutive Big Ten regular season championship. This one brought to you by RCD RV Supercenter in Heath, Delaware, Pataskala, and always online at rcdrv.com.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
All right, back at it. Final hour of the program. So much to get to. I do want to take like maybe 60 seconds and combat a little bit on the Nico thing. When we had it, and that's why I love having Futek on, because he'll just throw something out there that really wasn't on my mind, because I think maybe we're a little too close to it.
Yeah, Pete Futek, collegefootballnews.com.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so he said, don't put it past anybody and everybody to get in bed now with Nico. Like that anybody outside the SEC is in play. And I agree with him. I'm not naive. I understand he's a talent. And I'll repeat myself if you didn't hear me 15 minutes ago. If Ohio State would have lost in the playoff, there would have been certainly some got to keep trying to buy your way out of this any way you can. But once you crack through and you win, it allows you something. And I'm not talking about lowering expectations. It allows you a little bit of, we can lean into the stuff that's a narrative that's a little more against the money, the brotherhood, the adversity, facing stuff, the challenge, picking yourself up, hitting rock bottom, galvanizing as a team. It allows you to lean into that stuff. And I don't think that that's fake, and I don't think it's everything real. Certainly you need talent to win. But I could understand a lot more if Ohio State would have failed last year, in whatever definition of failure you want to put on them. Not winning it all. Then I'm like, okay, this talent becomes available. But the difference, there are two things in my mind. One, how badly do you need him? And two, is he the right guy at the right time? He seems off to me. You told me that you read a story that he was allegedly threatening to not play in that playoff game against Ohio State unless he got more cash. And maybe he did. Maybe he did. Or maybe there was the promise of more. I don't know.
Yeah.
And maybe they didn't deliver on that promise. And now we're hitting ahead, or he's decided to say, hey, I played in that game for you last year when you said you'd come to the table, and you haven't. I don't know. I'm just guessing. I just think he's the wrong guy at the wrong time for him. Ohio State is now basking in the glow of a championship and trying to develop a new quarterback that they feel really good about, Julian Sayin, who, by the way, the timing was very good then to come off where Saban was retiring. Now Sayin's in play. To me, it's less than 5%.
It's one of those
they
things
would go after him.
That your coach day, I think you get the gang together, you get Coach Hartline, all your other offensive coaches in a room, and you have a real honest conversation about where are we right now at the quarterback position coming out of the spring game. You have to have the discussion when a guy like this is on the table. I think you'd be foolish to just not talk about it. But my feel is they feel good over there. Lincoln, Julian, yeah, they're young guys. They're inexperienced, but we'll have them ready to go come week one. And so this is like when a free agent that in any sport comes available and you're looking at your depth chart and you're saying, we got talent in that room. It's a little bit of a log jam. We bring this guy in, yeah, it could probably put us over the top, but is it absolutely a need for us? And I don't feel like that's the case for Ohio State for whatever that reason that may be. And yes, he is talented, but it's also one of those quarterbacks too where I don't know if he fits in every offensive system. Maybe you cater a lot to what his skill set is, and I think that's the job of the coaching staff. But more times than not, you've recruited guys along the way that can hit the ground running within your own offense or defense or whatever unit that you're talking about. So you're a very low percentage. I'm probably a little higher than that.
Really?
Just because of how good he is or can be. And so, like I said, there just has to be a conversation. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. They've been developing Julian Lincoln the last couple of years. It's going to be their time. It's going to be their time. Pete Futek threw out North Carolina. And I thought he made a really good point. Because if I'm Bill Belichick, I'm not in this, I don't think, for anything more than 4 years. I would be personally surprised if I see Bill coaching in Chapel Hill for a handful of years plus. Let's rock and roll as quickly as we can. And it sounds like Belichick, part of the reason why he took the gig at North Carolina was because
his girlfriend wanted him to.
And that he felt good about where the financial backing would be when it comes to NIL.
Yeah. So that's just where I stand on it. I understand why a guy like Pete Futek from the outside looking in would be like, hey, Ohio State's not averse to not getting great talent and paying for it. They've done it already. Why wouldn't they do it again? Just to me, the timing feels off.
Real quick, I want to mention this. Some of the other schools that were mentioned in this, as far as Nico and his camp reaching out to them outside of Oregon, was Notre Dame, UCLA, USC, and Texas Tech. Those are maybe where he has his eyes right now, where he wants to land next.
Yeah, programs that are kind of in the let's level up, try to make a run at this thing.
Lincoln Riley, I have to imagine, is very tempted by this because of the conversations around his name last year and where he is and maybe not being fully locked in as the guy of the future to lead the Trojans. Wouldn't be surprised if that's a marriage that happens either.
And maybe the dust will settle a little bit on Nico moving forward, and then it'll allow maybe some schools, all right, let's tiptoe into this a little bit. Right now, to me, he's a red flag. He's
a red flag. That's a talented red flag.
I know. And I'm not dumb to think that they can't say we'll be the ones to get him right. Yeah. And guess what else will get him right?
The money.
That's
what they're thinking. They're thinking we get him in the door at a price he's happy with.
He's fine.
Then you don't have to worry about this stuff. But I'm sure Tennessee probably thought the same
price
thing.
Goes up, right?
Tennessee probably thought the same thing.
Rory cashed it in the most unlikely way. That was not supposed to happen yesterday the way it happened. It just wasn't. He is a guy that's had his demons at Augusta, and they were creeping up again, and they came early and often. And that's why you thought that he would go south. Because when you double bogey number one, the worst script ever for a guy that's fought demons there for a long time, and a guy that's chasing this elusive tournament at his talent, you just didn't think it was going to happen. And then he rescued it. And we went on a roller coaster ride with a golfer yesterday, and to me, usually the favorite is not the one people are rooting for. It usually doesn't happen that way. But there was no real true Cinderella at the Masters in the final round because DeChambeau is very polarizing because of the live stuff. Reed is not very well liked because he's also a live guy and he had his trouble before then. Scheffler certainly is not a Cinderella in any way, shape, or form. And Oberg, while he's a young guy and he's only played the Masters twice, he's a little more unknown. There was only one rooting interest in my mind. It was either you wanted Rose to finally break through because he's in his mid-40s, probably getting close to his last chance, or the predominant feeling was, let's get Rory one. Mm-hmm. Let's get it. He stood up for the PGA Tour. He was put in a very awkward spot when a lot of those big names were taking the Saudis' money and running and saying the PGA Tour isn't important to us anymore and we're not getting ours. And these traditional tournaments, guess what's tradition? Money. And we got a lot of it. And Rory stood up and he said, no, I've got plenty and these are the tournaments that matter to me. And so then they were all thrown back in the pot and stirred up together again. And here he is on Sunday collapsing again when he had a 4-shot lead. It was Greg Norman-like stuff. I was very surprised at the end that he was able to flip the switch, but he's that talented. And maybe it was because DeChambeau had already fallen off the cliff because he had to go for it at 11, down 4, and he hits it in the water. Maddie, the amount of emotion and trying to seal that up is only something that you'd know it if you were in it. Because you expect a guy like that to not buckle, especially with a lead. Protecting a lead, by definition, is conservative, and it leans you into a weird mindset. And I'll tell you, I was as happy for him as I've ever been for somebody that won.
It was an awesome scene, just the whole thing. Augusta's beautiful on TV. I loved the camera shots of the crowd. They are seeing Rory's scores go up and down, and every time that number popped up into that slot, like the wave of emotion. No phones, right? That the crowd was feeling. Imagine how he was feeling on that roller coaster ride. He talked about the burden that he's felt when it comes to this moment in this tournament since 2014. Like, this has been weighing on him for a decade plus, and to finally punch through that ceiling the way he did in dramatic fashion, I think was just baller stuff from Rory. And I thought you brought up a good point earlier. When you have these type of moments and when you fight through adversity and you're already one of the most talented guys on tour, what this can do for you now moving forward, who knows what this guy is going to be capable of. Because this had to be one of the biggest mental blocks of his professional career, was exactly what he did. And now he can just go out there and you don't got to think that much. You just play. And his God-given talent is up there with some of the best in the world. That's why everybody has always supported Rory, because he was such a great story out of the gate. Young kid with so much promise. This dude's so good, hits the ball a mile, all that stuff. And now here he is with this career Grand Slam in elite company. In elite company, whenever that's brought up, his name will forever be brought up with some of the best to ever do something. It was I don't know if you could have written a better script, honestly, for what we saw this weekend, for a guy that had so much attention coming into this thing because of that storyline, and for him to put that period at the end of that last sentence in that book and to end his story the way that he did is what makes sports beautiful. and the emotion that came over his body when that last putt went in. That's what it's all about, man. It was awesome.
It would have been a lot easier for him to be Justin Rose and be 4 back on Sunday, not start Sunday with the lead by 2, and be in the mix, to be in the rearview mirror a little more on Sunday. That could have been, that's the blessing and the curse. Would you rather have a 2-shot lead going in the final round or be down 4? Like, of course you'd rather have the lead. You want to be as close to winning as possible. But for certain guys, the chasing is easier than the protecting. It happens with Spieth a lot. I brought up the Mickelson factor is because back in 2003, he had more talent in his pinky than most guys had on tour. And he couldn't win a major. And he was carrying this. U.S. Open collapses. The 99 U.S. Open, 02, finishing second. And nobody thought he'd ever win. I had many conversations with people about the longer this goes, the harder it's going to be. And that's what happened to Rory, is that it was the one that he couldn't get and the one that he wanted maybe the most. And he got it in dramatic, crazy fashion. But that's what I said on Thursday. The reason I love the Masters more than any other tournament, not just because the course doesn't move and it's always there. It's the back 9 presents the most beautiful risk-reward, collapsible aggression that you combine into 9 holes that I've ever seen in any tournament. All right, we'll come back, and maybe we'll answer the question, Maddie, who has to be next? And not just in golf. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And, well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, I think I saw a fox on my way in.
Oh, that was the Carfax Carfox. He was congratulating us on our Carfax Top-Rated Service Center Award.
I have always rated Tire Discounters at the very top.
Oh, thanks. So does Carfax. And not just for tires, but for all our services, too.
Alignment, brakes, shocks, and struts, and more.
Yes, sir.
But, Mike, do you think people believe Carfax over me?
Well, you are the Phantom tire buyer.
Exactly.
Hey, living with chronic pain, it's like trying to get comfortable on a cactus sofa, walking on pins and needles. Nothing feels good. And forget trying to do the things you love and enjoy. Like the spring, it's getting warm, whether you want to golf, whether you want to hike, whether you want to bike, whether you want to play pickleball. You're just trying to get by. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter here. I want you to know something. The medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Columbus are on the case and focused to finally get you the relief you need. Finally, calm that debilitating joint pain in your knee just like I did. Maybe it's your hip, your shoulder, your back. Don't miss a beat, no surgery or long recovery. I'm done with getting cut on. With QC Kinetics, the science is solid. They give you your life back. A life healthier, free of harmful meds. That's the whole mission of QC Kinetics. You could be a candidate. So go to qckinetics.com/Columbus to find out how easy it is. They've got offices now in Canal and Grove City, so call 380-208-4544.
Spring forward, Columbus, with the Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling Services. We're here to thaw you out with this limited time offer. Get up to $2,000 off a new complete furnace and AC system. This offer is too good to pass up. The Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling now together to serve you better with $2,000 off a new complete furnace and AC system. This offer won't last. Call us today, 614-232-2222. That's 614-232-2222.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. April's a great time to spruce up around your house, like getting rid of those old, ugly, drafty, hard-to-open windows and starting fresh. Especially during Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 free sale going on now. There's no limit to how much you could save, and if you buy a house full of windows, they'll include a free entry door too. Plus, with 0% financing, 0 down, and no monthly payments, you could get new windows and pay nothing until 2027. How do they do it? Well, Window Nation partners with the top window manufacturers in the nation to build windows to their high-quality specs. Then they pass the savings on to you. You'll protect your home with some of the best windows you can buy at a fraction of the price of those other brands. Just imagine what you could do with all that extra money. Hurry, the sale ends soon, so don't miss your chance to take advantage of the Buy 4, Get 4 free and pay nothing until 2027. Schedule your estimate right now at 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com. One more time, that's Buy 4, Get 4 free from Window Nation, 866-90NATION or windownation.com.
The Fan has been ranked as the second best sports station in America by our industry peers. Our heartfelt thank you is in order. But we're not doing it because we're better than that hillbilly Birmingham station that came in first. Thanks for nothing.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy skies with some peaks of sunshine. Daytime highs soaring into the 70s. We have a chance of showers and thunderstorms late afternoon, early evening, some which could be strong to severe. For tonight, lows down into the 40s with a chance of showers. Otherwise, partly cloudy overnight. Tuesday, we'll see highs only in the 50s with a chance of showers and breezy winds. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. Or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Little Bet365 time, Matty.
Let's do it because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. If you are a new customer, listen closely because they got a deal you probably don't want to pass on. You get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5, and it's win or lose. You're getting that $150 in bonus bets. So make sure you sign up, download the Bet365 app. Today, I'm looking at some baseball stuff. I got a guy who we all know, best player in the world. It's Shohei Ohtani. He's on a drought when it comes to home runs right now. We got 5 games in a row. Shohei Ohtani has not gone deep.
What a slump.
For him, that is. It's crazy, right? So I'm looking at Shohei tonight, and I actually like the value at home for an anytime dinger. Take it on the Rockies. Give me plus 300 tonight for Shohei Ohtani to touch all the pillows out there in L.A.
I like that a lot because I don't think the Rockies have much to throw out there at him, pitching-wise. So either they don't pitch to him or you're right, they might groove him one.
The Rockies are 3-12, they are.
Do you guys want me to mental hedge tonight or just lean into it? So the Jackets have to get the Hawks to win tonight. Have to. They have to go to Montreal and win tonight. That's all there is to it. They're a pretty big dog, the Hawks. Plus 240. Montreal's limping to the finish here. The pressure maybe getting to them. And a team that's not been there, done that, might have a little hard time sealing it up. We know that's kind of been the theme of the weekend. And so I either can lean into what I want to happen and just bet the Hawks at plus 240 and just root for it, or just take one for the team here and put the kiss of death on Montreal by putting my money on them.
I think we got to go with the latter then. Okay. I think we got in with the kiss of death then. It's just what has to be done. You got to flush some money down the toilet tonight.
I got to pay for it.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
That's what you got to do. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Again, just a reminder to download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Offers subject to meeting qualifying criteria.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
By the way, if you wanted to watch a shot from this weekend, Go back and watch the sweeping hook going for the par 5 and 2, tied at 10 under, that Rory slung in there, missed the eagle, but made the birdie. And that's why anybody that would come at Rory is crazy to me. He had every reason to lay that up. Every reason. He's tied. He's at 15. He hits that in the water, it's ball game, most likely. And he decides to hit that slinger. Mm-hmm. And because when he could have drawn that thing, he could have overdrawn it, could have gone long, which would have been a really tough spot to chip from. We could have had an issue where he just, didn't hit it the way he wanted to and hit it in the water, came up short. The fact that man made 4 double bogeys this week and won, and double bogeyed 13 on Sunday and 15 on Thursday, but then when he needed to hit that shot, it was incredible. That's the one shot I would recommend. If you didn't see it, you want to see something, just Google 15 on Sunday for Rory McIlroy.
Yeah, it's gutsy stuff.
Who's next, Maddie? Who's carrying, not golf-wise, who's carrying the pressure? I wrote down 4 names.
Okay. I'm interested to see who's on your list.
That if they don't win one, it would be pretty wild. Now, these are team sports. I get it.
Yeah.
All right, so I have McDavid.
Okay.
Luka.
Ooh.
Lamar / Allen.
Okay. Maybe even Burrow in that?
It's weird.
Because they're all to me in that
I did not put Burrow in. I don't know why. Maybe it's been the injuries or whatever, but
those 3 to me are
maybe it's because he plays for Cincinnati. I didn't want to do that to him.
They're sharing that same energy because you're all in the AFC. Who's going to slay the beast and get there and get it done? Joey B, they slayed the beast. They just didn't finish the job. Allen and Lamar are looking to get there.
Who carries more pressure, though, to win one of the 3 of them?
Well, because here's the thing. They're all similar in age, so we can't really play the age card, right? Like this guy's 35, and these guys, they're not even 30 yet. None of them. And so I don't know if I can identify one just because the runway is about the same with those 3.
Is it because Burrow doesn't have an MVP yet that I don't put him at the top?
Well, Lamar has 2, Josh has 1.
Yeah.
So
is that the reason I left him?
I wouldn't be mad if you lean that way because of that. But for those 3, they're all at that point to where the individual stuff only matters so much. Like, if you want to go down in history as one of those ones, then you got to get at least 1 Super Bowl. You have to get at least 1. Like you said, though, the context in this is they can only do so much. They can go out and have a game in the Super Bowl where you go 34 of 38, 250 and 3 touchdowns, and your defense gets lit up and you lose the game. It's not on the quarterback. So that's the tough part, but those 3 for sure, I can understand why your mind went there. I've got a guy, though, and this is it's a different sport. And news today coming out of the NBA that the Phoenix Suns have fired their head coach, Mike Budenholzer. I'm going with Kevin Durant, AR. I'm going with Kevin Durant. I think KD still needs that standalone championship.
Oh, okay.
That's not attached.
I didn't go to my mind for a guy that's
not
won 2 already and been the MVP in 2 of them.
Well, it was how he got there and how it just the cutting of the corners. Vibe for me is still very high because he is a top 10 all-time guy. And so where he's at in age, I think to me, he is a guy in the NBA that still needs to get that done without the likes of Steph, Draymond, Clay, Iguodala, and just that loaded team.
All right.
You could probably make a bigger case for Joel Embiid, though.
Who has more pressure? Yes, he's in there too, but here's the reason I would take it off him. It's the injuries.
Well,
I just don't expect it. I know, but I don't. There may be some self-pressure that he's putting on himself that my career wouldn't be complete without one, but I'm just talking about the outward pressure now that he has to win one. I just feel like the injuries are almost like it'd be a bonus if he does.
For me, I don't want to give him that excuse only because of how he's going to go down as one of the most dominant big men of his time. And so he got that MVP a year or 2 ago. Now it's time to really get in that mix, and he's had some really good teammates around him. So his availability is bad, and some of that is on him with some of the stuff you hear about, his diet, how he really doesn't lock in on those type of things. So Embiid for me is definitely on this list of guys next that are feeling a little bit of that Rory McIlroy pressure in their respective sport.
I put 3 coaches in it from football. I put Dan Lanning, Kalen DeBoer, and Brian Kelly. And I wasn't sure which one would feel more.
Dan Lanning, Kalen DeBoer. What you said, James Franklin?
No, because I don't think anybody thinks he's gonna, so why would they?
I'm going with James Franklin. Just because they have a little bit of that.
It would change every ounce of narrative that ever was attached to him.
Because they opened up the playoff, you got in. Now you turn the page to 2025. Oh, you've got all the experience coming back. Kind of like the conversations about Michigan and Ohio State the last 2 years. And those programs got it done. So I like your list. I'll add James Franklin to that too.
All right, we'll see who's on the Who's Next parade now that Rory. And my other feeling about Rory is this. Conquer Jack's place, and you want to talk about freewheeling, then it's on.
Yep.
All right, we'll come back with our friend Dave Biddle in 2 minutes and recap the spring game for you. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
When your sump pump is no longer sumping and pumping, please don't become a sump pump grump.
A sump pump grump thinks whacking the pump will make it start working again.
But it never does.
Get Eco.
ECO.
A sump pump grump will let a faulty sump pump completely ruin a perfectly good day.
Fortunately, I've invented a solution.
No more sump pump grump?
No more sump pump grump.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Tell me about it, Jerry.
The solution is that you get Eco to do a sump pump inspection.
What would that include?
We check your pump, your battery backup, and all the downspouts and drains along the way to make sure everything is running clear.
How much?
That's up to you, Aaron.
Jerry, Eco would be happy to do that for just $89.
That's a great price.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
Go to geteco.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Spring is here, and it's time to refresh your yard with Ohio Mulch. With 15 convenient locations in Central Ohio, it's easier than ever to get your mulch ready for the season. Need it delivered? No problem. Save $50 on home delivery when you order online. Whether it's mulch, soil, or even stone, we've got your yard covered. Visit OhioMulch.com today and spruce up your garden with the best.
Ohio Mulch, landscape supply, greener, greener, better.
Can I get Mega Millions?
Good choice. Mega Millions is bigger than ever. Jackpots now start at $50 million and grow faster.
Sounds mega.
And now, every game has a built-in multiplier, so all non-jackpot prizes are multiplied between 2 and 10 times.
Bigger prizes, better odds, and just $5? Give me 2.
Mega Millions is bigger and better than ever. Get your tickets today at your local Ohio lottery retailer. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
True to his name, Matty Ice wears a winter coat in the middle of summer. He lives the gimmick, man. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, he had no time to be out on his new boat. He was at the spring game with me, pre-gaming it, and he's our man Dave Biddle on the money and Buck Nuts. Brother, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. How you guys doing?
We're doing well. I felt like watching the quarterbacks. Now, this was set up, as you and I talked about on the pregame. This was set up to kind of showcase them. Let's not blitz them. Let's not come from different angles. Let's not catch anybody's arm, following through and hitting a helmet, all that stuff. And Lincoln got his first chance. And yes, maybe the nerves were there. A little high to Tate, a little high to Jeremiah Smith. And then Julian certainly had his moments. But give me your feel, because I feel like the pecking order that came out of spring kind of kept it right where I think they told us where it was, which is probably saying with a little bit of a lead here and Tavian kind of the distant third.
Yeah, nothing changed for me during spring. I mean, I'm still confident in both Julian Sayin and Lincoln Kienholz, and I also think, I'll be very, very surprised if Sayin's not the starting quarterback. I think Kienholz can go in there and get the job done if need be, like you were saying, Anthony, after a slow start, I thought he actually played a solid game, and it's one of 15 spring practices, really. We have to keep that in mind. But I thought Julian looked good, and I'll be very surprised if he's not the starter. And Coach Day is not going to say anything until probably a couple weeks before the season. Why would you? Why would you say anything? Jim Lachey, during the pregame show that we were on, said, why would you – he wouldn't say anything until the Thursday before the game because why tip off Texas what you're going to do? But I think Julian Sayin will be the starting quarterback. I think he's going to have a good year.
You know, Dave, earlier we talked to Pete Futek from collegefootballnews.com, and he threw out the idea of, don't be surprised if Ohio State maybe sniffs around Nico Iamaleava just to see what that could look like. AR and I put very low percentages on that actually happening, but what are your thoughts on that idea?
I don't like people who speak in absolute, so I won't say 0%. I'll say 0.001%. How about that? Because there's no way Ryan Day is going to do that. There's no way. He's big on culture. I mean, listen, I see both sides of it because you see Carson Beck making $4 million. I even heard you yourself. You have the best, Maddie, you had the best take on this that I've heard. Like, I was listening to you guys, and you're like, hey, the price has gone up. And that's true. If you're Nico's camp and you see Carson Beck is making $4 million, you're like, all right, price has gone up. But if you're Tennessee, you're like, we don't even think you're worth $2.2 million at this point. So it's a mess. And right or wrong, he's going to be painted as a me-first guy. And what they've done at Ohio State, which is extremely impressive, I mean, just winning the national championship is obviously the most impressive thing. But what they've done is they've brought in five-star players, but they have five-star young men as well, off the field. And I don't think he would fit into the culture here. Plus, I think Ryan Day is convinced he has this guy in Julian Sayin.
I'm with you. I said the same thing earlier. Now, if things would have gone south last year and they would have been a little more desperate and let's buy our way out of this and we can get an established guy that may be more talented, then they could have played the card they played with Will Howard because he could have seasoned Kyle McCord a little more. They thought they had to level up because there was a little more desperation to win a title. Now that they have it, I think they can lean into everything you're saying, which is very important stuff too, Dave, as far as the culture and the brotherhood and all that. But when you win, it allows you to kind of cement the standard versus, slide it a little bit. I'm with you on that one. Where are you on the running backs? We talked about Bo Jackson. Of course, the name is massive, but he got a lot of attention. I thought he was very good in the spring game. Donaldson was too, and Peoples was kind of tabbed as kind of not the guy, but because it'll be by committee. But was there a little shakeup for you in the running back room?
No, in fact, if anything, I thought Sam Williams-Dixon helped himself because I've been saying Bo Jackson is going to be the number 3 tailback for sure, and I still believe that because he's really good, and we all saw that on Saturday. Bo Jackson was really good, and he's going to play as a true freshman. But Sam Williams-Dixon is going to play too, so it was good getting him back after he flirted with the portal. James Peoples, I feel like, is a guy we're not talking about enough, Anthony and Maddie. He's a guy that I think is going to have a really good year. There's a reason he only had 2 carries in the game because they know and it was during because he's the guy. He looks good. Now, they're replacing the best tandem I've ever seen at tailback at Ohio State. I missed Archie and Pete, unfortunately. A little before my time, barely before my time, but before my time. But Q and Trey, that's the best tailback tandem I've seen at Ohio State. I'm not breaking news there. So are they going to be as good as that? No, but that's asking a lot. I still think they're going to be really good because James Peoples is going to have a big year. As you mentioned, like C.J. Donaldson looks good. He's trimmed down. I was kind of looking forward to having a 238-pound back, but Carlos Loughlin wanted him more at 225, and Coach Locke knows what he's doing, and then some. Donaldson looks good, and I think Bo Jackson's going to be a heck of a number 3, and I think Sam Williams-Dixon is looking good as well. So, and they have a couple other guys too. I mean, Isaiah West missed the spring, but was here, and then they have Turbo Rogers coming in, who Coach Locke likes a lot. So, despite it's crazy to say it, but despite losing those 2 stud running backs, I'd really like that running back room.
Let's slide over to the tight end room, Bids, because I'm in on that room this year, right? And we saw guys like last year and G. Scott Jr. make a lot of noise and what he was able to do helping out the offense along the way, on the way to a national championship. But looking at the tight end room right now, Max Clare makes some noise on Saturday, but there's a lot of talent there, as you know. Just talk about the opportunities those guys could have to be impactful inside this offense in 2025.
It's a very talented and deep tight end room, despite losing G. Scott Jr., who was the leader of that room and the starter. And just like you articulated, I mean, getting Max Clare was a luxury item. I thought even despite losing G, I thought, they got a pretty good tight end room coming back. Will Kazmarek, who they described as the best blocking tight end in college football, with Jelani Thurman, who looks like he could be an NFL tight end right now. Probably the most talented, tight end Ohio State has landed as a recruit is Jelani Thurman. Now he's entering his third year. And then also Bennett Christian played a decent amount on the national championship team. So he's thinking, okay, they're good right there. And then they bring in Max Clare. It's such a luxury item. I mean, that was a great get in the portal. I think behind Ethan Onionwa, maybe Donaldson, you could argue as well. I think Clare was the best get in the portal. Onionwa, to me, was the best get. He's locked down the left tackle. But, yeah, Matty, I think this is probably the deepest tight end room I can remember at Ohio State, not just with bodies, but guys that they're at least 4 deep of guys that are going to play. And they played a lot of 12 personnel last year. They even played some 13 personnel a decent amount. So we're going to see all 4 of those tight ends play.
Dave Biddle with us, Bucknuts.com, host of On the Money here on The Fan. Where are you on this defensive line right now? I know it's like we saw in practice, or in the spring game, it wasn't really set up. You still got to get off blocks. Still got to stop a run game. You still were able to kind of hit guys a little bit. It felt like this thing is always slanted a little more towards the offense unless the defense can make a play. But just fundamentally on that defensive line, are they comfortable where they are or not?
I don't think they are, and Coach Day alluded to this after the game. And I think they like the starters. I think they're okay at defensive end overall with depth. I think they definitely need to get a defensive tackle in the portal if possible. Now, especially in the spring portal, it's going to be tougher than winter. It's almost like signing day, where like early signing day is when most guys sign, and then late signing day now is like, kind of an afterthought. It's not quite apples to apples, but I don't know. People have asked me, can they get a stud DT in the portal? Like, well, if there's one in there, I wouldn't put it past Brian Day and Mark Pantoni and the crew, but like there has to be one in the portal for that to happen. Will that happen? We'll find out on Wednesday or maybe a couple of days after that. But, yeah, I think they need to add a D tackle. I like the starters, gentlemen. I like the starters a lot with Caden McDonald, that 1 tech, Edric Houston, the 3 tech. I like the starters. But who's going to be the top backup? And they have guys that have potential. Will Smith Jr., we know he has potential, not just because of the bloodlines. Tyrone Malone, Jason Moore, Eric Mensah. Those are some guys at D tackle that could help. But I think they need to land a D tackle in the portal. At defensive end, I think they're pretty good because they have Kenyatta Jackson and Caden Curry as the starters entering their 4th year, and they brought in Logan George, who was a really good get in the transfer portal, and they have C.J. Hicks moving down there. So I think they're okay at defensive end, but they can definitely use a D tackle in the portal.
How much QB run game do you think we'll see this year? Julian Lincoln still really getting to know their games, and we really haven't seen them with a clean runway of games that matter just yet. But being around the program throughout the spring and at some of these practices, how much of that is going to follow the Will Howard era and maybe have Lincoln and Julian pick up where Will started with the quarterback run game?
Yeah, especially if it's Julian, I think we'll probably see less of it, but it'll still be incorporated, is my guess, and now you have a new offensive coordinator with Brian Hartline, although same head coach, so things aren't going to change much. Chip Kelly was very committed to that QB run, and it's easy to be committed to the QB run. We have a 6'4", 235-pound, 5th-year senior, so might be a little different with Julian, but Julian's not. People keep asking me, like, is he like more like 6 foot tall or 5'11"? I'm like, no, trust me, I've seen him like eye to eye. He's absolutely 6'2", I would say. He says he's 6'2". He's at least 6'1.5". Okay, he's listed at 6'1", and Ohio State does a good job of, putting the actual height and weight on their official roster. So, long story short, I think that Julian Sain's not going to run the ball as much as Will Howard, but they have to keep that incorporated in the offense. If the quarterback is no threat to run, which is what Kyle McCord was 2 years ago, that gives the defense a huge advantage. It at least needs to be a threat. And Julian Sain can run the ball. He won't run it as much as Will Howard, but he'll run it.
All right, brother. Good to talk to you again. Good to see you on Saturday, and we'll see each other soon. Thanks, man.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
That is Dave Biddle on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We come back, play a little Tell the Truth next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
The meatloaf!
The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony. Of course, I sit and do the show 3 hours a day. But after that, I'm looking to get things done, enjoy the spring weather. So I want to be on my feet a lot, playing golf, working out, just moving around. I was introduced to the Good Feet store because my feet were aching way too often. And what I found there is a 3-step custom arch support system that has me feeling awesome. My personally fit arch supports have helped realign my feet, reposition my body into a more ideal position, and not only that, strengthen my feet to help support me. It's made all the difference in how I feel every day. The Good Feet store is going to help you where you need relief and find the arch supports that work best for you. And when you wear them as a system, their arch supports are more effective at long-term pain reduction and elimination. So go in, take the free test walk. Good Feet arch supports are immediately available. Their products are proudly made in the USA. They're on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City or at goodfeet.com.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, 3-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, 2-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining Life Search to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to lifesearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. Life Search featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit lifesearch.com today.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
This is Corey Sickles with Safe Harbor Wealth Advisors. Get a complimentary second opinion to see if your portfolio is properly designed to achieve your goals before it's too late. Visit safeharboroh.com to schedule a complimentary meeting. safeharboroh.com.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, where our erectile dysfunction treatments are shown to be effective in nearly 90% of cases. Listen to what Alex has to say about our ED treatments.
I have been experiencing problems with ED, but that's all changed. My name's Alex, and I've been a patient for Tri-State Men's Health for under a year. I highly recommend this. Every day I wake up feeling good compared to I was back in the old days. Good change is more exciting. You know, I don't have a problem with ED anymore. I'm having a lot more fun. I was very comfortable. I was always comfortable in any conversation I had with Tri-State Men's Health. Yeah, I just want to let gentlemen out there know that you do not have to live with ED, that it is not just an aging process. It is also hormonal and balance and everything in your system. And once you get that under control and everything, you do go back to your youth a lot in how you feel.
Thanks, Alex. It's true. If you're like most men, we'll help you get your sex life back. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
The Fan Poll is brought to you by Caster Connection. Visit CasterConnection.com to shop online or to work with our Caster Solution specialists.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Window Nation. For all your window needs, visit windownation.com.
The baby Chet.
Yes.
Turn me on, big fella.
I know. I got a lot going on back here.
All right. What are we cooking with? Maddie, like say some hot grease?
Uh-huh. Tell the truth. And these first two are kind of spiteful. Are you rooting for Nico Iamaleava to fail at his next school?
No. Like, to me,
what?
I don't have any personal beef with the guy that I'll be rooting against him. There's going to be some people out there that probably do.
Yeah, I mean, I always... Listen, rooting against cockiness and arrogance is Right in my wheelhouse. And I feel like he's that guy now. He's the it guy. He could climb out of it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, we've never said that he wasn't a talent. There are a lot of people out there saying that he's not worth anything. He may not be worth this, but there are a lot of people that aren't worth this.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people haven't lived up to their NIL money. It probably happens every year now, every season, every team, that they've invested this much in that guy, and where is it? Now, we won't know. Now, I'm confused. I don't know how Nico's family knows exactly what that guy's getting paid or the guy at that school's getting.
Some inner circle stuff.
So when you brought up the Carson Bextor, like, how does he know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Sure.
Because here's what I'm trying to remind myself of, Baby Chet, when it comes to Nico. A lot of the stories that are out there are that his dad and his agent are the driving forces in this stuff.
I want them to fail, too.
That's fair. That's fair on your end. Because I don't want to put all of this on Nico. Because it does sound like his dad has a lot of sway in obviously what happens in his son's life, and that they've been trying to move the pieces around the board for months now and really have him level up financially. So when I see him play at UCLA or USC or Notre Dame or wherever he ends up next, I'm not going to be rooting against the kid, but I don't blame any program for looking at him right now and being like, it's not the type of guy we want. It's not the type of, people we want, meaning his family, his agent, all that inner circle stuff you have going on. I get it. Some people are going to get turned off by that, but I'm not rooting against him personally week in and week out. I won't be doing that.
Matty took the professional route in this. He's a classy guy.
Sometimes.
This kid was getting money in high school. He was getting payments already. I think they set him up. I agree with that. They set him up for a young guy to not have any real world type experience and really know how he would be viewed and perceived. And it's a get mine attitude. And it's a life lived on Instagram, and so it feels extraordinarily superficial to me for him to have played this out against Tennessee if he already was making $2.4 million and it was a contract that was worth up to $8 million. But he's not a little kid. Could have said his dad, I'm staying at Tennessee. I'm staying here. I want to stay here. If you can get me more money, go get it, but not at the detriment of blowing this thing. So they all have their hand in this. And so I'm kind of with Matty in that I'm not really rooting for him to ultimately fail. There's a lesson to be learned here, and I hope he learns that. Whatever that lesson is that's coming, that it's not always better somewhere else, and it's not always go for the money. I think that lesson's coming, but I wouldn't root for him to just be an abject failure.
Just find out right now today is true.
Do the Savannah Bananas get too much attention? Tell the truth.
I didn't even know who they were.
I was going to say, I still don't think, Baby Chet, they're popular, but I don't think they're household to household popular just yet. But they're making their way. And it's a wild/entertaining brand of baseball that they play. It ain't for everybody. There's some crazy stuff going on.
Where are they playing these games?
They bounce around the country, I believe.
What are they, the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball?
Pretty much. Out baseball stadiums.
I know, but what is their gimmick?
I think you labeled it pretty well with what you said, that they could be viewed as the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. There's funky rules within this. This isn't normal, straight-up baseball type of stuff. There's a video going around of Travis Hunter was out there with them this weekend dancing around, doing some crazy. It's just an off-brand of baseball that's not going to be for everybody. But there's no doubt, where they started to where they are now, I respect how they grew the brand. But I'm not sitting down searching for Savannah Banana games. It's just not really my cup of tea. But you look at some of the attendance numbers that they get, they're doing all right, man.
That I could see why they'd be entertained. First of all, it's very hard to make baseball entertaining if the games don't matter.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there's only so much you can do. This isn't Harlem Globetrotter basketball. That's not.
I mean, they're showing a highlight on SportsCenter right now, and the left fielder just caught a pop-up while he was doing a backflip.
That's what I'm saying. That's kind of cool stuff.
Yeah,
it's not that easy to make baseball exciting.
For the kids, I think they probably love this stuff, if you're a kid.
Yeah. Okay. What was your original question?
Just do they get too much attention?
I'd say no. I would say maybe they're not getting enough because they just got it from me now, and I hadn't given them anything. How long have they been doing it?
It's been a few years.
Okay, the fact it's first getting to me now is answering the question. They're not getting enough.
So I'm saying they're not household to household just yet.
All right, and the Caster Connection fan poll as I scroll up the sheet to gather it. Which among these four guys do you think is most likely to be the next one to complete the career Grand Slam? We got Brooks Koepka, Phil Mickelson, Scotty Scheffler, and Jordan Spieth as options.
See, I don't know who needs what, though, off the top of my head.
AR definitely does.
Yeah, I mean, we could go through it real fast. We don't have a lot of time here. Well, we know that it's not spread out as much as you would think. So, like Koepka has 2 of the 4.
He just doesn't have the jacket yet, right?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have the British Open Championship yet either. I don't think.
Okay.
So,
okay.
As far as Scheffler, he would be my bet. I feel like he's the guy that could come up with the next 3: an Open, the Open Championship, and the PGA. So, who are your other options? Scheffler, Koepka.
Spieth was in there, I believe.
And Mick. Phil Mickelson.
Spieth only needs 1. Phil's not winning another one. It's weird because Spieth is very close. Spieth is the closest.
How old is he now? We 30 yet? 30 plus yet? Where's Jordan at?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Mid-30s? Let me see something here.
He's 30 at least.
Rory went, what,
He's
11
31.
years? Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm going to say Scheffler. He's just been too good. I think he's the furthest away, and he'll probably be the one.
I'm going to go with Spieth just because of age. He's got plenty of time left, and he just needs the one.
That's right.
So I'm going to go with Jordan Spieth.
Okay.
And the truth shall set you free.
If you missed anything from our show, don't worry. You can always catch up because wherever you get your podcast, folks, just type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3. We'll be waiting there for you. Bet365 is the exclusive sports betting sponsor of the Rothman and Ice podcast coming up on Common Man and T-Bone. Both guys in the house. Jason Stark joins at 5:30, and they will recap the spring game.
Back at high noon tomorrow. Thanks for listening. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
The only radio show Ryan Day listens to when we're holding him hostage, making him listen to a radio show. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Huntington is banking that just clicks. Like early pay. You could get paid up to 2 days faster and there's no cost. So stop playing the waiting game. Make the switch today at huntington.com/yourmoney. Direct deposit and eligibility requirements apply.
Common Man here of Spring Cleaning has you thinking about spring upgrading. This is the month to do it. Freshen your home's look, boost your energy efficiency, and save big during Universal Windows Direct's Spring Home Improvement event. Right now, it's their classic fan favorite offer. You buy 2 windows, you get 2 free, and there's no limit. If you buy 4, you pay for 2. If you need 12, you pay for 6. What are you waiting for? Schedule your free in-home estimate today. Give them a call, 614-502-5220, or visit universalwindowsdirect.com.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, I think I saw a fox on my way in.
Oh, that was the Carfax Carfox. He was congratulating us on our Carfax Top-Rated Service Center Award.
I have always rated Tire Discounters at the very top.
Oh, thanks. So does Carfax. And not just for tires, but for all our services, too.
Alignment, brakes, shocks, and struts, and more.
Yes, sir.
But, Mike, do you think people believe Carfax over me?
Well, you are the Phantom tire buyer.
Exactly.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. T&Cs apply.
Here on The Fan, we talk about getting rid of joint pain with the regenerative experts at QC Kinetics. There's no surgery, no downtime, just your body's own healing properties working to give you relief. So you can enjoy doing the activities that you love, like the fastest growing sport in the country. That's pickleball. And here in the Columbus area, QC Kinetics is proud to be a sponsor of Paddle Tap's Pickleball Club. Learn, grow your skills, challenge yourself, and meet other pickleball players. Paddle Tap's Pickleball Club features the ultimate indoor facility with 16 state-of-the-art courts. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, Paddle Tap welcomes all skill levels. See what you're missing. Call Paddle Taps and mention QC Kinetics, and you'll get 1 hour of free play, courtesy of QC Kinetics, the people who take care of those achy joints, so you can play for years to come. For details, go to pbtaps.com. That's pbtaps.com. pbtaps.com.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
It's Lindsay's one and only trade-a-thon.
We'll trade for anything. Plus, give you $1,000 more for your trade. Choose a 2025 Honda Ridgeline RTL or an all-wheel drive HR-V LX or a CR-V LX and pay just $299 a month. 3 models with one very low Lindsay price.
Trade up to the reliability of a new or certified Honda.
So lock in your price today. The one and only Lindsay Honda Trade-a-thon is back.
See lindsayhonda.com for details.
If you're like most Americans, you've racked up tens of thousands in credit card debt. You're stuck with 20% interest fees, and even the monthly payments, well, they're hard to make. It's insane. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. The good news is that there is a way out. AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com. Advantage First Lending. They specialize in fast, easy access to the equity in your home. Most homeowners have hundreds of thousands of dollars in their home equity. That's your money. AFLcash.com can get it out for you with zero junk fees and zero hassle. You can pay off all those credit cards in just a matter of days. Pay off your car loans too. Cut your monthly expenses by $800 or even $900. I'm telling you, the relief you need, well, it's right there at your fingertips. AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. That's 844-394-CASH. Break out of the credit card debt prison with AFLcash.com.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual